not happening, you know, and those are people who are not here. Those are people you'll never see here because they're struggling to just stay employed and keep body and soul together and be there for their children. And, you know, this is a conversation they're not going to have. And as a teacher, I remember when it changed in our district and parents would come to open house with a little one, you know, by the hand, and they're a high school student, and they've scrambled, and some of them have 2 jobs, single moms. It's different among people who are not sitting here with us, for whom this would be very important.
I think that those kind of folks are not going to be able to go off and pump either. You know, there's no break room at Burger King to go and pump. You know.
That's true.
Yes. I think I just wanted to say, for those who are pro-business, couldn't this become an issue about our workforce development a little bit more? I mean, as a business owner yourself, couldn't you begin looking at how to reassess what it is that you're doing to train your employees? For instance, you know, just doing this in preparation for if you do have an employee that is planning on taking any sort of absence or any time of leave, that you then have somebody who can replace that person immediately, just to reduce the costs and whatnot. Because right now it seems to be a huge burden, as at least the way you guys are interpreting it, to be on small business owners. But I think I see it as another opportunity to start reassessing the workforce development and seeing what it is that we're doing to train employees.
I have something to add to that, too, to reinforce that point. I work for a small company of under 50 employees that, of course, do not have this plan at all. The employees we're talking about here are low-paid clerical office workers.
At your
You
company?
know, office workers have developed a very, very strong support system to help each other. They're all friends, they're similar child-rearing age groups. What they have asked the boss to do over the course of a couple of decades, what he's done is tremendous amount of flex time, and everybody's trained in everybody else's job. Now, if the employer takes those steps, actually it could be a bonanza. They're going to keep the whole salary, and they've been trained to do each other, share each other's work for a small period of time, and they have the will to do it because they know each other, they're mutually supportive. The employer sponsors parties and things so that they will become a cohesive group. So the culture of the workplace can be a big part of the solution.
I'll give it to you in a second. I don't disagree. I mean, I think that might be a little oversimplification, for example.
Well, it doesn't work with lathe workers.
If you're a 10-person firm and say you're an energy marketer, you employ 15 people, you probably only have one that does your accounting, and your sales rep can't be trained as a CPA.
No, there's limitations.
No, I mean, so it doesn't fit in every situation, and I think you could probably talk to the cost of having to train some people in specialized fields. I mean, I don't really put it in the spot.
No, that's okay. So to answer your question, that's what we're doing constantly. I mean, we have an apprenticeship program. We're constantly training, cross-training. We do all those kind of things. I'm not the only one who's gone out on maternity. You know, our scheduler went out on maternity, and so we had a plan in place, you know, for her to go out and do all these different kind of things. So I guess it's just frustrating as a business owner to get a mandate and then just be expected to make that happen, like kind of like what you said, you know, and I don't mean to be impolite, you know, we're like, do you want to come in and do the schedule and run the lathe? And, you know, so it's like that's what we're doing all the time, is constantly trying to train, cross-train, be prepared. I mean, people go out. I mean, my QC guy's out for, you know, 2.5 months. We've had people go out on maternity. We've got a couple international workers. One's in Laos for 6 weeks. You know, he had over 8 weeks vacation. Guy never takes time off. He want to go to Laos. He's from Laos, so he's there. He's in Laos. And so we have somebody obviously covering his job at the moment. So people do go out whether there's paid family leave or not. Just like you said, people have babies. People have sick relatives. People get sick themselves. You know, it happens. And so you've always got to be, people quit. I mean, you know, they resign, they quit, they get a better job, then you got to replace them and shuck and jive and do all those things. So we're constantly doing that as business owners. So again, kind of like what I said in the beginning, is like, we're doing the right thing, you know, we have the apprenticeship program, we offer the enhanced benefits, you know, we're half-day Friday, the shop's air conditioned, you know, all this great stuff. But it still can be a challenge when they say, okay, you know, you do this, and I get that question about Obamacare, you know, how's that affecting your business? I'm like, it's not. I'm like, because we give every single person health care, we don't have any part-time employees, we're not trying to play games with the system. I'm like, so it doesn't affect me at all. We've been doing the right thing since we started in '86. But for somebody like me, then to be told, well, now you gotta do it this way, and then the person who isn't doing the right thing, so it's either I almost feel like the government just has to make everybody do the same thing, or businesses just have to step up. I don't know. If you want to keep and retain top workers, you have to offer good benefits. So I might not be the perfect audience because I'm not running a huge corporation with lots of low-wage workers. So I'm not exactly the CEO demographic that might protest this.
All right,
And
yes.
I would just say that we just finished St. Patrick's Day, and whether or not you get access to paid family leave should not be a matter of luck.
And Peter, you have a question.
Just a quick question. I come from a background where social decisions are made mostly by central governments rather than state governments. And so I'm puzzled by Larry's passionate plea that we act now. I think that's right, but I'm curious to know from anybody who's been following this, what's happening at the federal level? I think I agree instinctually that just like Social Security, something that is basic as this should be a federal initiative. So is there any action at the federal level to make this happen? And if so, what are the chances?
Our New York State elected Representative Gillibrand has had a bill introduced for some time, but it's not seen as going anywhere because the House really will not consider it. So she looks to the states to set the precedent and prove that it can be done. Obama has brought together businesses and child and women's health advocates for several years of conferences. The U.S. Secretary of Labor has been going around talking to people in different states, trying to encourage them to consider these kinds of options. So there is work, but there is no anticipation of quick action.
Just to say, there's a long history in the United States, of course, of reforms beginning at the state level and it needing to percolate up. It very, very, very rarely happens in the other direction.
Except the most significant ones, Larry, happened during Roosevelt, and that was not a state initiative.
No,
that was a federal initiative.
even there.
Social Security started in the States.
Yes, Social Security started in the States. There were
Minimum
work
wage
programs
started in the
that
States.
Roosevelt modeled the federal work programs on based on states and municipalities. So progressive income tax, you name it. If you look at the history of
Usually New York and California.
and it's California being #1 GDP in the country, and New York being #3 after Texas, I think. So you build enough of an accumulation of states, and then federal action happens.
It's like interesting little side note. I was talking with someone from Canada the other day, and was telling me that, you know, they have significantly longer, 40 weeks or something, for maternity leave. They have a very vibrant temp agency placement industry, because they have a lot of people coming out of college or coming out of, skilled training programs who need job experience. And they are placed into these long periods of time with paid family leave where they can get that job experience. So I thought that was very interesting.
All right, I want to thank everyone for coming out.
Barbara,
Yes.
could you make sure that everybody remembers to fill out this questionnaire? Oh, you're going to mention that, and also stay for the refreshments.
Yeah, before everyone leaves, we had a great conversation, so stay tuned. Thank you for joining us for this important discussion. We are grateful to our excellent panel and moderator who shared their time and expertise. our co-sponsor and host, the American Association of University Women, for usage of this beautiful facility, the Perkins Mansion. I would also like to thank our program committee for making these forums possible. As many of you know, we present a forum almost every month, focusing on issues which impact our community. We look forward to sharing more forums with you in April. Please continue to visit our website and Facebook pages for updates. And you can join us as well on Twitter. If you are not a member of the League of Women Voters, please consider joining us to increase our impact in making democracy work. If you are so inclined, I believe that there are applications at our table. Before you leave, please take a moment to fill out the evaluation sheet that was on your chair. You can leave your evaluation on the table that you came in, or I will have a basket that's provided as you walk out. Once again, thank you for joining us and drive safely. Thank you.